Hi, guys. We have a moon in the sign of Libra. It's fresh, it's new, it's at 28 degrees, and it also hooks up with an exalted fairy godfather called Jupiter and crosses paths with Chiron, the wounded healer. Something about this moon can help us heal something in our lives that we've been contending with for several years, since 2019, actually. And with Jupiter, wise, good, true, energy folding into the sky, helping this lunation, we're going to see some positive golden opportunities, massive healing individually and collective over wounds in our lives. And the wounds are connected to the sign of Aries. And as you know, that is also the sign of war. So we'll see some massive healing coming through our sky from this lunation as we heal the devastation and the wounds we have collectively endured to our psyche by seeing some of the catastrophic pain and suffering that has happened in our lives since 2023 and before that 2022 with both Ukraine, Russia, and Gaza, Israel. Now, I am no longer doing a lot of the world astrology here. It's over at Substack. I talked about how this moon, and in fact, how October 17th, days before the moon, will bring up major turning point stories to do with Charlie Kirk, Netanyahu, war, Israel, Trump, and there's somebody else in my lineup. It'll come through. It's in my article. So rather than me say all of that here, it's already written up for free on Substack for you, because it is that Charlie Kirk with his sun and moon in Libra near this lunation. It is with Jupiter in the sign of Libra for Donald Trump, Netanyahu's sun and moon here in Libra as well, that we're going to see these characters and these stories unfold coming off this moon in very turning point and pivotal ways. Now, today, we're focused more on your astrology. I'll show you the sky. We'll talk about what this might mean. To have any kind of lunation hitting up an exalted Jupiter in Cancer is positive. To have an exalted Jupiter in Cancer trining the north node of fate brings an element of destined change and healing to our lives. And this trine between the node of fate and Jupiter hasn't happened since 1894. So we can see how beautifully rare some of this healing can be for each of us. And when we talk about healing a chironic wound since 2019 in our Aries whole sign sky, we're really taking ourselves all the way back to 2019. But you have to understand that that wound only reemerges every 50 years. So a lot of us are, for the very first time, if you live another 50 years, you can heal a chironic wound in their Aries whole sign house, right? But, so it's very rare. It's usually once in a lifetime. All right. So I've got all that prep work behind me now, and I'm so excited to tell you something else. I got my Zoom annotation fixed after 7 days of Zoom customer support and back-end technical help. They finally found the glitch with the MacBook Pro. If you don't know how to fix it, email me. If you're a MacBook Pro sufferer, they finally figured it out. And the other thing that's good news is, by the way, welcome to my channel. I forgot to say hello. My name is Lori Lothian. I'm a Western tropical zodiac astrologer using whole sign houses and, of course, fixed stars and minor asteroids when appropriate. I also will bring your attention to a favorite teacher of mine, Renn Butler, and a friend who is teaching a 6-month course called Archetypal Astrology. I took this class in 2020, never looked back, really informs a lot of how I see the sky, my life, how I look at how I'm dreaming and interfacing with the archetypes of the sky. So if you're at all interested in checking out his course, which started October 4th, but he's taking late enrollments throughout October, then please do, because if you say Lori sent me, then he's going to give you a massive non-public discount on his class. And it's just as a friend from a favors from friends that we're doing this together. I do support all of his work, as I do my own teacher, Adam Ellenbus. I always bow to my teachers. So let's get rolling and talk about your sky. Wow. So first of all, I'm really happy to say that I feel good about this. I haven't felt really good about sky stories for a long time. I'm going to draw the chart for you. I'm going to bring it up. We're going to talk about the general principles, and then we're starting with Aries. I forgot to say the wisdom of the oracle. Wisdom is a Jupiter word. Wisdom of the Oracle by Colette Baron-Reid will draw a card for each sign, as well as the astrological delineation for how to handle this new beginning, this fresh start that's happening on the 21st of the month of October 2025 at 28 degrees of Libra, and how this will unfold throughout our sky. over not only the 2 to 3 weeks afterward, but 6 months later. For it takes a new beginning, a new moon, 6 months to reach the culminating full moon phase, full moon in Libra. And therefore, we see this as a longer story than simply the next couple of weeks ahead after the moon. Let me get the chart for you. I wanted to mention Otter Spirit Jewelry because I flubbed on something. This is a beautiful trio of turquoise, black and white dragon, agate, and smoky quartz. And I handpicked it. And I forgot that they gave me also, in addition to my 30% off discount for all of their beautiful jewelry, they gave me a 20% discount. I always have that for any single purchase. I now have a new code for 30% off their jewelry for any purchases over $99. So check my description box below for Otter Spirit Jewelry link and codes. And just so you know, what I love about these guys is they give you a kind of like little box and a felt pouch. And, it's really great for gift giving, but all these little write-ups that are just so beautiful. Of course, my camera doesn't want to focus on smoky quartz. Hang on, let me see if I can make it bigger. Okay. I release negativity and find peace, right? Protection, intuition, and it's good for the root and solar plexus chakras. Really great for Cap, Scorpio, Sag, and Virgo folk, and then the turquoise, which is one of my favorite stones. I don't get swept away by inner storms, healing wisdom, abundance, good for Aquarius, Pisces, Sag, and who's that? Aries, and it's the throat chakra, which I need because I'm talking constantly, and black and white dragon, agate. I balance light and shadow within, root and crown, and it's for balance. Great for Gemini, Aquarius, Sag, and Leo. So if you like that kind of astrologically sensitive jewelry, please go ahead and check them out. Now, they just give me free jewelry. I'm not getting a discount on I don't get money from your sale. So I'm now going to go ahead and I'm going to bring your attention to the actual sky. Now, there are some asteroids and a star involved. We have a beautiful star with Jupiter Procyon for courage, daring, executive capacity. It's a wonderful energy that means things will get done and they will get done well. It's part of the minor dog constellation, but the asteroids are way more exciting to me. Abundantia for abundance, fruitfulness, cornucopia energy is sitting exactly with Chiron at this T-square junction, as well as we have the asteroid grieve is sitting with the sun moon and a little bit as well as Astarte. But the grieve is not necessarily about your life. I find it tracks mostly with celebrities, famous people, and kings and deaths. And asteroid Requiem is sitting with the south node right now. So there's a south node or north node, south node. So in Virgo, so we're seeing like Requiem and grieve happening here. So I will predict world astrology. You guys want it back, right? I will predict that this moon, and it could be within 2 weeks of this moon, maybe a day before to 2 weeks after, there may be a grieving and a requiem, a funeral coming for some well-known person. And because it's a Libra sky, well-known Libra people. Now, Charlie Kirk was a Libra sun and moon. We've already grieved him or whatever, but there's a lot of conspiracy and uncovering of what really happened. We have, the Libra energy also connected to Netanyahu with his Libra sun and moon. So those are examples of what we might wonder what would happen. The nation of Israel itself is a Libra rising, pretty well close to where this moon is happening. Maybe there'll be mass grieving there for looking at what, maybe when the citizens see what they've done to the rubble that was once called Gaza, they may have some empathy, but I highly doubt it. So what we're going to talk about the sky in terms of what possibly will happen for you with this sky. So let's bring it up. Oh, no, I don't think I'm sharing properly. Give me a minute. This is me still working with some of the glitches in my new Zoom software relative to my MacBook Pro, which is like I'm telling you, it's been a journey of patience. I could almost say now I've lost my entire screen. It's been a journey of patience. It's been a journey of patience. I want to show you this. I think I'm sharing. Can I see what I'm sharing? I am sharing. Oh, praise the Lord. Yeah. All right. And I see if I can make it a bit bigger because it seems like I'm just sharing the picture, not the window. There's a different way to do that and it's not letting me. Okay, we're just going to go with it. It's not exactly how I want to do it. Patience with me, guys. I'm supposed to be able to open the window as opposed to what they're asking me is to share my whole screen with you. That's a new glitch because I think I'd mastered this one already. I think I'm just going to go with what I've got. I believe I've got it. Okay, we're just going to work with it. I think you're seeing what you're supposed to see. Now it's not even showing me what I'm sharing. Like, seriously, I can't pause the recording because I'll forget to turn it back on. Okay, it looks like I'm sharing my screen, but also my desktop. And used to give me a thing, you would like to share the window. So it seems like we fixed one problem, the annotations, and now I've got this. Let's just go with what we've got. So praise God. This is your sky. I'm not going to complicate it. We got Pluto and Neptune and everybody else everywhere. Let's just keep it simple, stupid. No, that's a expression from journalism. When you're writing, don't use big words for the public. I was a newspaper journalist. This is a sky that shows us what I'm trying to talk about for each of us and the world. On September 17th, this is a moon on the 21st, you're going to see that Jupiter, Chiron, and the sun are all at 24 degrees, really making this T-square of pivotal change and turning points very active. I specifically covered the meaning of the T-square in great depth in my article for your sign that came out on Substack on the day that I'm recording this for my Patreon community. And that day is October the 14th. So if you're at all interested at all in subscribing to my Substack, please do. That's where you're going to find more content about the world, but also I do write-ups for each sign. Now, one thing I want to tell you guys about is look at the placements of these asteroids, right? Look at Abundantia, 23 degrees with Chiron. There's an energy of want to extract some fertility, of abundance, of goodness, of positivity around something fruitful and overwhelmingly good, Abundantia, connected to the healing of that Chironic wound in Aries that we've all been dealing with in our Aries whole sign house since back in 2019. So Libras have been dealing with wounds in marriage, a wounded marriage partner, wounds in business partnerships, wounds with audience, marketplace clients, relationship, right? And so this is a very healing and abundant energy. Jupiter with Procyon, executive, daring, courage, it's a success story. It's great for business enterprise. That star is lined up with Jupiter in a beautiful way. The software describes it specifically as executive capacity, daring, courage, can go far with discipline and staying focused. So that's the positivity of that star. And over here, we have the whole story of the new moon at 28 degrees. It's a little off, but it's at 28 degrees on the 21st. Exact time isn't so relevant. Add 2 to 3 weeks, and you'll see the fruits of that new beginning. And you'll notice that we have some asteroids involved. This is the asteroid Grieve, and it is very possible that the sun has now moved past 27 degrees, that what the collective will grieve about will be something we see coming into being October 17th, 18th, 19th, maybe 20th, in the precursor time to the actual moon. So that's going to be something to keep our eyes on here. What is this? Is it a king? Is it a leader? Is it a celebrity? These are all Libra, solar energy and grieving. And over here in Virgo is the energy of the Node of Fate with Orcus, the Punisher of Broken Oaths, and Asteroid Requiem for a Funeral. I'm not going to put that there. I just know that they're there. Virgo people, Virgo nations are also connected to this story. Netanyahu has his midheaven up here with the South Node and Asteroid Grieve. So maybe he's just grieving his career path falling apart, or maybe something happens and maybe somebody grieves him. I don't know who that would be. Probably citizens of the nation of I. And then you'll also notice the asteroid right here is Astarte. I love this asteroid, Astarte. It's asteroid 672. And Astarte is a beautiful star energy, just so you know. So it could indicate, yes, grieving for a famous celebrity or star. So the need for desire and comfort, where one knows exactly what one wants and will not settle for less. And this asteroid can express dominance in a relationship to get what is needed. And when it's negative, it can be very self-centered or narcissistic. So you got the whole range of possibilities with this energy of Astarte. And so one thing I'd say about that is that in the world, if we're grieving somebody, some of those themes about who that person was and what that person means is probably relevant for the global collective. And hang on a sec, because I'm going to pause the recording at just a sec before we do your sign. And I'm going to go double check the mythology of Astarte. This is a new asteroid just added to my update software on AstroGold. So I can't seem to fix the hand up. That's a new feature of the Zoom interfacing with my MacBook Pro, but I don't care. That's just because I'm moving my hands. It thinks I'm putting my hand up. So just bear with that. There's no one in the room with me. I love this Astarte. She's the ancient Phoenician goddess of fertility, love, war, and sexuality. Okay. Fertility, love, war, and sexuality. So we're definitely talking war stories trying to be healed by that Jupiter Chiron story. Chiron in Aries in the sign of war has been tracking with asteroid child for 3 or 4 months, 2 or 3 months. And as we discovered, the tragedy of war in the Middle East with the suffering of children in particular. So there we go. She's often connected to modern pagan and Wiccan groups as well. So Astarte. Got it? We got it. Let's move back to what I was doing, which was I am actually trying to share the screen properly with you. No, that's my messy desktop. Oh, you Zoom, you are just beguiling me. I hope my annotation's still showing. And I will talk to more tech support. Annotate, it's back. Praise the Lord. I forgot I could have been circling everything for you. All right, we're going to start today our conversation. I think with Libra, I'm going to just break patterns here. Why the heck not? Since it is a Libra new beginning, I might start each of the new moon, full moon cycles on the sign that it belongs to, just for fun. So if you are a Libra sun, moon, and rising sign, we're talking about a beautiful new fresh start. 28 degrees is often connected to the household name degree, a form of fame, but it's also a new beginning here in love, sexuality. Remember, Astartes here in love, sexuality, and fertility and war. Now, I don't think any of you are particularly at war, Libra, but if there's a part of your life that you're at war in love or sex or war or fertility, there's something that wants to begin fresh and new here. Now, you might have some grieving behind you because the moon is happening after the grieving is connected by the sun's gone past the grieving. So I think looking to grieving and things that have brought you sorrow or despair or grief in context of or in relationship to the idea of romantic love with Venus here or friendship. And if you've been grieving love or losses in love or friendship, it doesn't have to be recent. There's a new fresh start. More importantly, or as importantly, I wonder about Chiron here. Chiron is a wound you've had in the marriage house, in the significant relationship house. Sometimes that can be your marketplace, your public, your audience, but it's also, someone very relevant to your life, your marriage or long-term love partners, sometimes business relationships. And so there has been a woundedness since 2019. And now there's a new fresh abundance that's starting to fructify here. You're going to find like an abundance of connection with those clients, those audience, your marketplace, your partner in love, with your business partnerships if you have them. And Jupiter opens up gateways of opportunity in your career. And you could look at this moon as a really beautiful setup for turning points and pivot points that require bold decision and action to really level you up to a new level of success in your career, in your reputation. For those of you in relationships that are not married yet, this can bump you into marriageable conditions, a proposal, a wedding proposal, setting a date, getting engaged, moving in together, consolidating a higher level of structure to your existing love relationship. Finally, this is a lunation that's midwife by Venus herself, the Lord of Libra, watching it happen. Another reason we love this so much. She's making sure that it all works out for the best. This is, to me, Ukraine and Russia, by the way, and also the Middle East peace thing trying to actually happen, trying to actually succeed. Now we're going to draw a card for each sign, but before I do that, I also want to bring your attention to one more thing about this sky. That is that with Jupiter at the high noon position at the top of your heavens through to next July, I want to give you a encouragement to really, the sky's the limit, go big or go home, reach for your dreams. This is your time to really show the world where you are in the possibility of having that career ambition and success story that you want to claim. Jupiter gives you the wisdom, the expansion, and the growth up there to do it in a most beautiful way. Now we're going to stop the share and draw a card. And of course, I did put a video out a week ago, and I was sharing for Leo, poor Leo, and you guys were looking at nothing. So please be kind with me. There's been so many tech issues integrating my MacBook Pro with Zoom. And believe me, it wasn't me. it took like 7 days for Zoom to figure out which switch to turn off in order for me to even annotate. But now it's changed how I can share my screen. So there's another issue. I just want to share a window, which I used to be able to do, and it's making me share the entire screen. But oh well, small price to pay, right? For annotation. From The Wisdom of the Oracle by Colette Baron Reed, let's grab a card for you. And if you like this kind of content and you want to help my channel sustain itself in the world of AI slop that's dragging a lot of us content creators down, please like and subscribe. Please hit the bell for notifications. Yeah, you can't make this poop up. Soul mates. Why does that matter? It's all about your 7th house of long-term committed love and other. And it's pointing to a soulmate narrative. Now, if you are already in a relationship, it's not to ditch the person you're with. It's asking you to consider, is this my soulmate? If you're single, of course, then a soulmate may be inbound in the 6 months that follows this moon, for the moon is activating your self and other axis. Let's go to number 41 and read it for you. 41. Ugh, I'm very slow at this. Here we go. 41. Harmonious partnerships, love and friendship, Libra, companionship, and a relationship that fosters personal growth. You are meant to evolve and transform with the company of others. Certain people enter your life in order to take you to the next level of healing and consciousness. And then in the relationship section, which I'm going to read for you, consider love in the deepest sense. Love so powerful, Libra, that you will never be the same regardless of how long your relationship lasts. Consider friendships and romantic bonds so compelling that they overwhelm you with gratitude, or break you open so you will finally claim who you were meant to be. Even a companion animal reminds you that it is you who is being rescued and healed. Pay attention, for you are in the presence of a soulmate. All righty. I love that. Let's move on to the next sign. I think a lot of Libras are smiling right now. I don't blame you. Yeah, you see, sharing my junky desktop. Yep. Okay, now I'm sharing this. Gone is the option to share the window I have open. Okay, let's move on to the next sign. Scorpio, sun, moon, and rising sign. So there's a lunation happening in Libra that is at 28 degrees of your 12th house on September 21st. Please watch the intro for more information. And this is a moon that's going to open up a new beginning and a fresh start that is quite powerful in areas of your life where you're often seeing saboteur energy, where you are not doing the justice to yourself. You are your own worst enemy, that kind of thing. Sometimes it's an addiction. Sometimes it's just bad patterns, habits, self-sabotage. And new fresh starts are here in a way that's really healing, because Venus is here watching it, guiding it, making sure it has a stronghold on something that you need to work with. It's a perfect time for ashrams, meditations, retreats, maybe even opportunities for you to do things in solitude that are introspective and contemplative to help you come through this energy in the next week, 2 weeks that follow the moon, or up to 3 weeks that follow the moon. You'll notice that we have something you're grieving, maybe grieving recently, because when the moon happens on the 21st, grieving can be very metaphoric. You're grieving the loss of your vape or something, I wish I had it, or, because this is addictions up here as well. But you maybe have come into some grief recently, especially with Venus. You might be grieving something from your past to do with love or commitment or relationship. And Venus here, she's also the de facto ruler of your marriage house. And you may be grieving some situations in longer term relationships, and they don't have to be acute. Maybe it's something from your past as well. Ultimately, this placement can bring you into an awakening spiritually, and you might consider that this could open up doors for a spiritual enlightenment with Jupiter, the guru, the dispeller of darkness, the the rabbi, pastor, preacher, archetype in your 9th house, flowing to this moon. Well, squaring it, but activating it, witnessing it, and possibly you could find yourself finding a new spiritual path, meditation, religion, or calling to do with meaning, and life has meaning again, especially because the sun rules your 10th house of career. Some of you might be grinding the wheel of your destiny to turn yourself into a more meaningful and purposeful life when it comes to your career path itself. And this is something this moon wants to unfold perhaps over the next 6 months. If you're a publisher or you want to publish books or write and publish books, this is going to open up superior blessings for creative downtime leading to international success or creative success or publishing success. And the Chironic wound that you've been trying to heal since 2019 is in the workhouse. Has your work felt like you're being of service, but it feels drudgery and dutiful? Have you been lacking that inspiration in the work? Have you also struggled with health problems, particularly connected to your own self-undoing, like headaches from hangovers, right? Aries rules the head. So, you might find yourself really having a nice, beautiful opening and turning point here as well. Abundantia, the cornucopia, wants to bring you more fruitfulness financially, more abundance in and connected to the work and career path. And there's something that also says, but it's meaningful and it's purposeful and you're enjoying that. This is where you want to go. This is the direction you're moving into. So we're going to draw a card for you as well. With Jupiter in your 9th house, also positive, blessed opportunities for higher education, long distance and foreign land travel. And in your case, even work and career opportunities connected to countries foreign to the one you were born in may emerge in the 6 months that follows this lunation. And don't forget, Jupiter is flowing to your sign. He's giving you superior blessings in what's called a water trine. So yes, this is a very positive moon for you, but it does require some interior introspection, going inward to understand what the moon really wants to present to you. So your inner landscape, your meditation, your dreams at night are very fruitful in the course of the 2 to 3 weeks that follow this moon. So pay attention to them. From Colette Baron Reed's Wisdom Jupiter of the Oracle, because Jupiter's looking at this with some wisdom, right? He's looking at it going, how can I apply wisdom liberally? Clean it up. Okay, what do you have to clean up? Well, the 12th house is your karma, your past lives, your ancestral line junk. 12th house can open up cleaning up your addiction, self-undoing, and negative thought patterns and strategies that really don't work for you anymore in life because you're not conscious of them, because they're just happening without you thinking or, planning for it. Like I'll keep waving my hands and that little hand in my screen will always be here from now on as I do my videos. All right, clean it up. I mean, doesn't that sound obvious, like given your 12th house activation? So what you let go of in your 12th house, like an addiction or Netflix binging or some other thing that doesn't work for you, is literally an energy drain, right? It's a drag. It's pulling you down. You might feel like a dependency on this thing, right? Or substance or whatever, or habit, because it's comfortable and familiar. But once you let it go, you're freeing up all this energy, this soul energy, for you to actually use your life in a really beautiful, and as Jupiter says, dharmic and meaningful way. So there you go. Getting to the core of a situation, freedom from a burden, cleaning house, sweeping away what is no longer needed. You ever feel bogged down with emotional gunk? You can't think straight? Could you be surrounded by physical clutter in your house? A clean house is a clean mind. Or too much work, overwhelmed. Time to clean house. Every item out of place natters away at you. Every unresolved resentment, every comparison to others that leads to a sense of lack takes up energetic space. Every unpaid bill adds to an unnecessary feeling of being overwhelmed. Now is the time. Now is the time to free yourself by energetically cleaning house. Just do it. Just do it. Just do it. Make room for the miracles that are lining up for you. By the way, Jupiter in the 9th house is a miracle maker, right? He's in the house of God. He's in the house of Dharma. He's in a very positive space applying towards you in a trine. So yeah, get rid of the energy drains here and move into the land of miracles. Why not? This is a Perrier. Let me just suck back some water. All right, so let's move on. I'm going to try to share the actual chart, not my super messy screen. But it's weird how it's changing. Fix one problem, create another one. I have to say, Zoom support was amazing. They worked back and forth with engineers and everybody to figure it out. Now they've got a solution for other MacBook Pro users with the newest software. All right, so here we have it. We're moving past Scorpio and we're going to talk to you, Saggies, instead. You're Jupiter ruled. What Jupiter does matters to you. You must pay attention to his placements in the sky all of your life long. Jupiter is in your house, what we call chunky money. I call it chunky money. I need a t-shirt. It's money that you don't earn, right? It's a tax rebate. It's an insurance payout. It's some spousal support, divorce money, shared resources with hubby, his money, her money, spouse. Sometimes it's money that comes to you because you've got an inheritance. Not always. I'm not saying every time this happens, people get an inheritance, but quite often they do. And sometimes it's a little bit delayed when Jupiter moves into the next sign after Leo, but it's a potential for that. So there's more money that wants to be received by you, and that's important. I want you to consider what the Chironic wound is you've been dealing with here in your fifth house since 2019, what could have sucked the joy out of your life, or the fun, or the romance, or the pleasure, or the fertility. If you're thinking of, this fifth house in terms of being enthusiastic, inspired, and hearing the muse, and being joyful, creative, and having, sort of like a life of authentic joy. And Chiron's been here since 2019. You might be missing some of that. And maybe romances have been really wounding, or your own children have wounded you, or they're wounded. This is a thing, wounded by my children. Children are wounded. Love sucks, whatever. That wound has been there for a while. It's trying to heal. Abundante can bring you a new abundance, a new fruitfulness in relationship to those themes. And then the new moon is going to happen at 28 degrees of Libra. And this is going to occur in the 11th house of good spirit, which is a windfall house. It is pennies from heaven. Venus is a money and lusciousness of life goddess. So you may have some money coming to you here. And it may feel like you hit the jackpot. There may be a windfall. In fact, Chiron is in the house of money that you can win through speculation and gambling. But at the same time, why are we grieving? The moon and the sun are just beyond the asteroid grieve. And there may be a grieving going on in your life. At the very same time, there's a new fruitfulness of abundance in your life. And this abundance will show up likely in the 6 months that follow, but you might have evidence for it up to 2 or 3 weeks after the moon. The sun rules your ninth house, can represent father figures in your life, or real fathers. So there may be some abundance coming from a father or father figure. But of course, if there's grieving, maybe that person is ill or passed or passing. Just a thought, not for everyone. Don't get panicky, but I'm just saying, or an elder, like a grandparent, but somebody up there in the masculine energy. Partly feeling here with Venus in your 11th house of career gains and profits, that this could open up a more inspired direction in your work, in your career path as well, that can be more lucrative, but only if you're feeling the joy, only if you're using your natural talents and gifts. And maybe there's evidence in the months that follow. Astarte is all about that love, sex, and fertility with this new beginning, with Venus, the goddess of love. Possibly you might find yourself in that regard, opening up to new love stories that are way more auspicious and joyful and happy, and maybe healing some of the wound that you've been experiencing in that area of your life over the 6 months that follows this moon. So let's go ahead and shall we lower my hand? My hand isn't up. And let's go ahead and draw a card from the Wisdom of the Oracle by Colette Baron Reed. My hand is always going to go up, guys, because I wave my hands around like an Italian when I talk. Goodness gracious. We're not all like talking heads like this. Some of us have hand movements. Zoom, this new feature, is not great. I find that Zoom, when they upgrade things in the past, nothing has been catastrophic. Nothing like this has ever happened before. So I have to ask them about like what they were thinking in this regard. Like, what were you guys thinking with this upgrade? All right. So you have a change in the wind. Something is about to shift in your life. Okay. Something big. This is literally a card that simply defines a change in the wind. It's pretty self-evident. And I like this card. It's number 12. 12 is like the hangman in the tarot. Change in the wind is coming off of this new moon, new beginning in the house of windfalls, pennies from heaven, career profitability, friends and social circles. I might give you a prosperity message because it's one of the money houses and Venus is there. Okay. So the general meaning of the card is you have a sense that an unseen change has been initiated, preparation for a storm, awareness that your plans are not on firm ground, and a shift, uncertainty about which direction the wind can blow or will blow. As you endeavor to create a prosperous life, you may encounter unexpected reversals that cause you to shift directions. I don't see this card as a reversal. I don't see your sky as a reversal, not with the 11th house and the 12th house, but how money comes to you might be through a divorce, through a separation, through a loss of a loved one. I don't want to say all of you have that. Tax rebates and insurance payouts, okay? Perhaps an opportunity that you sought went to someone else. Perhaps you pursued something that you suddenly realize is not in your highest good. You might not be 100% clear on where you need to go, but you are certain things are not going to go as planned. Circumstances are not under your control. So what? Wait it out. All will be well, even better, actually. So trust. That's an interesting card for you. Jupiter is your lord, and he is in the 8th house of death and rebirth, and he's invisible to you where you sit. You kind of could be like blindsided a little bit by Jupiter coming at you with these changes, but they're good for you because he's your guy, and it does involve money and maybe death and rebirth. I can see the moon outside my window. It's beautiful. We're coming, it's like daytime here. I love when I see a day moon. So we're coming off of the Aries full moon. And it's quite a beautiful, beautiful looking at that lunation right now. Okay. So let's move on and do the next sign. And the next sign, because we're going in a different order now, of course, is going to be Capricorn. So give me a minute while I cue the chart, pull you over to the share, assuming it's going to even do it properly. Says I'm sharing. Hey, Capricorn, sun, moon, and rising sign. We're starting this guy with Scorpio today. So, Libra. So that's why we're at you finally 1/4 of the way through the wheel. Please go back and watch the intro. And if you like and subscribe to my channel, I would so appreciate it. Everyone listening in the premiere or later on. So Capricorn, energetically speaking, I want to start with your long-term committed love stories because you're looking at Jupiter across the way. He's only here every 12 years, exalted in your house of committed love. And sometimes partnerships in business and public and audience. Often gurus and spiritual teachers come to people while Jupiter transits the 7th, but especially in Cancer where he's exalted. The point I want to bring up for you is that, Jupiter here is going to try to bring you blessed love, and he can expand the luck and prosperity of your significant other. But he's also here in a relationship that is or has been troubled. He's been here for a few months since, I think it was late May. And through till next July, or was it late June, through to next July, that, he could also close out relationships and bring blessed endings to relationships that have served a purpose and are no longer needed, whether it's a marriage or a long-term live-in or a long-term dating story. So it goes both ways. Jupiter is the Rolling Stones song. You don't always get what you want, but you get what you need, and it's wise and it's true and it's good. And so keeping all of that backdrop in mind, Jupiter is applying to the new beginning in your 10th house. So 10th house is a house of weddings, a house of relationship status, widowed, divorced, or married. It's a house of visibility in the sky. It's social and public visibility. And he wants to apply a new fresh start to do with your visible life when it comes to love, prosperity, and career, all things that Venus wants to also cooperate with. Of course, with Astarte, fertility, sexuality, right? And love up there. You're also potentially looking at a new love relationship, maybe connected to work, office, place environments, right? Or one that can become quite public, like Sonny and Cher, quite visible in the world. Maybe you and a love partner are about to start working together in the world and be seen as a team, or you might meet somebody with whom you will want to work with. And finally, you've got a Chironic wound. And what are you grieving? You could be grieving a relationship behind you or feeling some sadness about an older relationship behind you, because as this moon happens, grief is in the past, loss is in the past. You might be grieving a kind of relationship style or grieving the loss of some relationship path or pattern that you've experienced in the past, especially around sexuality and romantic ideals and fairy tale love because of Venus's rulership of your 5th. Now, Chiron with abundantia. A lot of Capricorns, especially rising, have been underneath this weight of unbelonging to my home. I don't belong in this homeland. I don't belong in this city. I don't belong in this apartment. A feeling of being the outsider or just not fitting in or not feeling well about where you live since 2019. And sometimes this has also been healing your mother wound, your childhood wounds as well, maybe consciously since 2019. Maybe you've been working on that stuff. Now you've got a lot of abundance and prosperity that's possibly fruitfully coming to the home, the private life, the where you liveness of reality. And I love the fact that this has also got some Jupiter juice. So there could be some fruitful abundance connected to property, land, and home and belonging, connected to relationship. And I would really keep your eye on the next 6 months, because it's possible that a relationship may be emerging over the next 6 months that will influence a feeling of contentment and wholeness and belongingness in the nest or in the home. Like, you move in together, that kind of thing. And that's what I've got for you. I don't know how else to parse it. Yes, it's a new beginning in the work and career house. And you also could have a change or a beautiful sense of alignment with home because of a new work opportunity. And a new work opportunity can also involve distant shores and far off lands. So you may move to such a distant shore or far off land as a possibility here as well. And that's just simply Jupiter's rulership of your 12th. And so it's even possible to come into a new relationship with somebody who's not from your country or lives on the other side of your country or in another country. Those are things that are happening for some of you. Now, don't forget, some of you could also be parsing out and ending older relationships, ones that have already been through a period of time with your, you've got the good wisdom lessons from that relationship, and there's endings there too. But for those of you looking for new love, this is beautiful as well. Okay. As they say in the tarot land. For those of you looking for love, I am recording. Praise the Lord. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and we're going to lower my hand again, and we're going to share the actual sky. It is cumbersome to do it this way, the way I'm doing it. Not liking it. You get to see my messy desktop. You can take a screenshot of my messy desktop. All right, here we have transits. Not Capricorn. Here we have Aquarius. I am one of you. Aquarius, sun, moon, and rising sign. It is our story here to be dealing up a really beautiful new moon in a very powerful ninth house placement. The ninth house is a beautiful house of dharma and aligning with meaning and life's purpose, of spiritual wisdom and truth and religion even. And the ninth house also brings us into contact with publications, including book publishing, higher education, and teaching and learning. And this is a new fresh start and a new beginning. And because we also have Astarte here, there may be a new love story, for Venus is witnessing this new moon on the 21st, that within 6 months, you may begin a new relationship if you're single with somebody connected to a spiritual community, a publishing situation, a university educational setting, or a far off distant shore like another country. You may be involved in a romantic love story with a foreigner. Now, one of the good things about this is that you've got grieving behind you. You are starting a new beginning with some grief behind you. You've had to let go or surrender or release some situation regarding usually love, Venus and Libra, love relationship. And even though it is behind you, you have also dealt it up in a positive way, for ninth house is the wisdom house. And you'll notice behind you, Venus is, the sun is, with the moon, new beginning. Sun does rule your marriage house. So it might have been behind you a significant relationship that has closed out. Not for everyone. Some of you are already in a relationship. It's still continuing. Things are okay. This could open up a new beginning in a relationship. To travel abroad with your significant other, for example, or join a spiritual, ashram or community. So there's lots of ways it can play out, Aquarius. Sexuality, fertility, and love, Astarte is sitting with this moon. It will be happening right here. So you're going to move into a new relationship to that part of your life over the next 6 months. Now, interestingly, this new moon is also talking to Jupiter in the moon. This is the moon's temple, and Jupiter is exalted here. And so there is a definite new direction when it comes to work and health. And when it comes to health, it's really an inside job, because in this position, Jupiter is giving you knowledge and wisdom and spiritual truth. This is often called a miracle placement. Jupiter here can miracle heal a health challenge. Separately from that, and Procyon says ambition, the star, courage, and executive capacity and daring, right? So that's really good for your work, your career, your livelihood. that kind of story. It wants to increase, but with the ninth house, you might have international exposure, success, a book publishing deal. You might be, able to move your work to another country or something like that. Or you have opportunities that are golden to work in another country or for another country's a company or something like that. Chironic wound in your third house. So let's talk about what's healing down here since 2019. You might have found an abundantia is here now for you, some abundance. You might have found that, you've been wounded. I have in the third house matters, like the house of childhood friends, right? Or friends from your youth. 2 died during this transit for me. Connections to things to do with your local neighborhood. Do you feel like you don't belong to the hood? Every city, every town, every place you go, I don't really fit in here. I've got that one. Have you felt wounded about short distance travel? I didn't take the unneeded protocol during the COVID years, and I was ostracized and I'm unable to travel and banned from travel in my own country. You can't make this stuff up. So yeah, it's been a bit of a wound for me, and it's also the house of communicating, selling and writing, marketing and all of that. And I was wounded, unable to write a damn thing since 2019. Thank you. I got my wound healed, but I'm just giving me as an example, as an Aquarius rising, where have you been wounded here in your third house? And sometimes it's a wounded relationship, right? With a neighbor, a sibling, a cousin, an uncle, an aunt, some of these extended family, the kinfolk. Now, quite possibly what we're seeing in this beautiful pivot point T-square is a golden opportunity to do a few things. Move where you live, because it's a neighborhood, right? The environment of your daily life. But with Jupiter in the 6th, it's most likely connected to a rental opportunity, not necessarily a buying or selling to take it. But if the 9th house is speaking truly, it may be off the country that you live in, a chance to move to another land. It also could be that there's going to be something going on in the writing part of your life that's going to bring great abundance and wealth. If writing is a livelihood for you, whether it's a book publishing deal, international exposure, or just a lot of success. And Venus is also up here with this moon watching it form, and she rules your 4th house. So this is almost like if you need a move or want a move in the next 6 months, it will show you the way to go. But it also can connect to other countries or love in another country or career opportunities in a country other than your very own. Venus rules the house of the home. And there's a small possibility of a pet out of this with Jupiter in your 7th. So getting a pet in your home that's going to bring you a lot of enjoyment and happiness that would be very spiritually connected to you. Like you feel like, time with my cat is time at like, on the church bench, better than the church bench or something like that. All right. So let's go ahead. So I was speaking to myself. I would so love a cat, I've had dogs, tons of dogs. I'm not tons, but I've had dogs, not in childhood, but as an adult. I'm ready for a feline in my life. You know what I'm saying? Time to change it up. Feline energy needed. All right. I'm an 8 life path. So it's got the strength card from the tarot. Let's draw a card for our fellow Aquarians, sun, moon, and rising sign, and see what we get. Oh my God, all the glitters. I know this card very, very well. It's literally about, not chasing the paper, not chasing the money, that kind of thing. Number 16, all the glitters. Now, with Jupiter, the god of wealth, in our work house right now, and all of that, 9th house Lakshmi, 9th house Venus, there's something about purpose and meaning and wealth and work, right? Like it's more important to be on purpose with our work or our livelihood, or if you're retired, whatever you're doing to be successfully happy in retirement, than it is to be, making money, right? Making a lot of money. That's totally true, by the way. Exalted Jupiter can have us chase a lot of glitter. So a need to see beyond the superficial, the desire to don a mask or dress something up to disguise its true nature, and trying to be something that you're not, chasing every sparkly thing, right? Now, for this particular card, I think we're going to go for prosperity for you because we have Jupiter in the work house, an Artha material success house. Sorry about that. I hear someone sawing wood outside my place. Hopefully you don't notice that. I cannot. I'll try to close the door in a minute. Sometimes an opportunity can look so good that it glitters like gold, but you can't resist it. Or you think you can't resist it. It's kind of got the mother lode vibe. During the American gold rush, everyone hurried west to find their fortune and deserted entire towns after the mining was depleted. So you can deplete yourself as you chase after the shiny thing that has caught your eye. So pay no attention to those who chase after fool's gold and resist temptation to be jealous of others. I never am. And when they have achieved what they have achieved may not be the true success you seek. So don't compare yourself. All right. So it's really all about be assured you will experience your own shining moment if you stick to what you know. All that glitters may not be gold for you. And I get that. Jupiter will wealth us up through the work we do, and he's exalted. Sometimes he's ambitious. He's almost gorging on success. And yet Venus, with the ninth house of Dharma and purpose and meaning, is asking for a deeper story than just the money. I'm going to go close that door, guys. It is so bad. I'll be right. I swear that's like a wood chipper out there. All right, guys, we're rolling into the next sign. And after Aquarius is Pisces. And don't forget, we started at Libra. So we've still got a ways to go in case you're just tuning in and you're in the live premiere. No, I do not want to share my messy screen. OMG. Yes. God, goodness gracious. You've got to be kidding me, guys. Yeah, well, I'll try to center that for you. How's that? Let's assume that I've done it properly. All right, so yeah. Pisces, sun, moon, and rising sign. It is kind of a cool sky for you because you're ruled by Jupiter exalted in your fifth house of fertility, children, pregnancy, conception, creativity, art, entrepreneurial success, romantic love. Natural gifts and talents being exercised in this life. This is fifth house narratives. It's also a house of vitality. Jupiter is expanding all of that energy in your life. Yay, you. And at this time, he's applying towards a new beginning in your eighth house of chunky money. Money that you get from a tax rebate, a government grant, a payoff investment in the markets, a publishing royalty income, money from a spousal separation or just spouse shared money from an inheritance, and on we go. That's where the chunky money is. It's a new beginning. Over the course of the next, 6 months from this moon, you might experience a glow up. And Jupiter is in the money good fortune house for winning money through gambling and speculation. So there's a lot to say about financial abundance coming your way for sure off of this moon. Now, Procyon also is really good for you if you want to be entrepreneurial, start your own business, get a gig going. You'll be really successful in the next 6 months. Venus witnessing the new beginning, new moon. It's also suggesting other stories. Now, she can be involved in matters of finances and money as a matter, of course, one of her portfolios, love and money. And she is sitting here and saying, well, have you had some losses you grieved financially? Have you had monetary grief? Because there's a possibility with grief behind this new moon that in the past there's been some financial grieving about something in the money area, but also you have the energy of a new moon with love and sexuality and fertility energy here as well. And possibly you've also grieved some of those parts of your life where you've had some kind of difficulties, because often we find shame and abandonment and betrayal stories playing out, primal human wounds in that eighth house as well. And you might have to grieve some of your losses in love and some of your, maybe you've lost a former love. Sometimes it's as simple as Venus and grieve behind you. You lost a love in your life, someone passed, and you've been metaphorically, whether they passed away or the relationship ended, you have come through some loss in your love stories, Pisces. And whether you admit it or not, whether you're able to, talk to yourself about it or not, that's what I'm seeing here. And, Jupiter wants to bring something fresh and new and joyous to you, something good, right? Something good in love, in romance, and in sex, and creativity. And Chiron has been showing you to have had the experience of some challenges in your money as well since 2019, but he's with Abundantia for a new set of abundant circumstances coming off the Libra moon and more financial abundance in your earnings, resources, and your pocketbook and wallet over the next 6 months. And maybe with Chiron, your teeth, your face, your nose, things to do with health like dental health or facial health has been a challenge for you. Yeah, since 2019, some of you had some of that happen too. However, good news is that's also shifting. One other thing I love about the abundance of Chiron here, it is abundance in a money house, right? Earnings, possessions, the wallet, the pocketbook. And I can't see a downside to the abundance. You're healing a chironic wound to enter into a 6-month window of fresh abundance, more abundance than you normally have. You may get some abundance vis-a-vis a child, particularly in this case, perhaps a firstborn child, and their prosperity may trickle over to you, especially say you're older and you're retired, and maybe your firstborn child be like, I got this, I got this, mom or dad, I'm buying you a mansion, so don't discount money from one of your offspring as well coming your way in this story. Liking the energy for love stories that are very profoundly intimate. If you're single or you're just getting into a relationship, Venus here will bring you more into that sort of mystical, spiritual, or tantric type of new relationship, although it may be kind of low-key hidden from the world, like a secret love story. That could happen for single Pisces over the course of the next 6 months. Okay. And with the South Node going through your 7th house right now, along with Requiem and Asteroid for funerals and stuff, there's an Orcus, a wealth god. There's a possibility, very small, that the end of a relationship, Pisces, like a divorce or a separation, or God forbid, the passing of a spouse, could be why this abundance is showing up in your 8th house from this moon on the 21st of October, plus 6 more months afterward. Okay. I'd be remiss if I didn't mention this as well. And if you're looking to make a baby because you're a young Pisces, then this is a very fertile new moon, but it will bring back the reincarnation of somebody from your ancestral line. Like, here comes grandma or grandpa or dad or mom back again as my baby or my partner and our baby. All right, let's go ahead. Let's take a quick look at, let's not get a quick look. Let's just draw a card from the wisdom of the Oracle. If I seem wiggly, I am. I've got to see my chiropractor today. I need too much seat time, not enough exercise, and I'm having a little deep glute psoas muscle discomfort, which is impinging on my sciatic nerve as well. So yeah, I'm just going to a Pilates class tonight for the first Pilates class in 5 years. Like, can you tell? I mean, how can I not have gone to a Pilates class for 5 years? It's been a really, really weird time for me, like a lack of exercise. This is called your by the book, doing things by the book. Now, it's funny because when I think of bookkeeping and I think of accounting, I think of the 8th house. Often clients who are financial managers or accountants will have this particular position. A lot of planets in their 8th house, right? So by the book, it's asking you to do something by the book coming off this, like, well, of course, Libra is the scales of economy and the scales of justice and the scales of Libra library book. In terms of finances, so doing it by the book financially. So I might go straight to the prosperity message for you. Abiding, because it's a money house is activated, money access, abiding by social rules, conformity, customs and universal laws, general meaning, prosperity meaning for by the book for you, Pisces. At this time, you can expect a return on your investment. I already said that. Whatever you have pursued, a dream you've long cherished, a skill you've cultivated, or service you're called to will come to you if you're willing to go by the book. You don't need to reinvent the wheel to be successful. Follow in the footsteps of others who've already achieved the things you're striving for. You can learn a lot by observing the structures already working in your life. Your creative projects and commitment to prosperity, creative projects, our 5th house where Jupiter is, are in alignment with the needs of the world, but impatience may tempt you to cut corners and to get there more quickly. Stick with what you know works and you will attract abundance. Okay, that was a good card for you. I'm glad we grabbed that one. All right, so we're going to go ahead and we're going to take a look at the next sign. And that's going to be Aries, who didn't get to go first for once. Aries, I hear you. We're like, what the hell? We don't get to go first. Well, not this time. Let's get my junk out of the way. Don't worry, I'll fix it next time. So I'm sharing the window, not the whole screen. Aries, sun, moon, and rising. Chironic wound has been plaguing us since 2019. It's an identity crisis. We might have been unhealthy. A lot of health challenges since 2019. Tell me about it. Might have all been like muscles and joints, but like, yeah, try tearing a glute muscle. So since 2019, we've had health challenges. We've had an identity crisis. We've been unsure about who we are. We don't belong in this world. We don't belong at all. We feel abandoned by life, our mother. We feel like the outsider. Welcome to the club. We've been feeling that way since 2019. God forbid it during the pandemic, you actually spoke the obvious truth, lab leak, anyone or anything like that. I've been ostracized. I've been abandoned. I've been crucified by actually speaking truth. So a lot of us Aries have been under that energetic abandonment and outsider and misfit wound ever since 2019. Chiron in our Aries sky for our ascendant, particular Aries rising, but also Aries sun and moon. I felt some of that as well. I'm an Aries sun. Typically, with this energy coming to a crucial turning point as this lunation is unfolding and pay attention to the 17th. Go read my Substack article of October. This is a major pivot here for you and me. And it looks like we're coming into a new kind of energy field regarding long-term committed love, how we serve our audience, public and marketplace, our fans, etc. Seventh house and business partnership opportunity. Now, Venus is a goddess of love and she is romantic, right? So having her in the seventh house is a positive indication of a new beginning and a fresh start in love. If you're in a relationship, there's going to be a renewal and a new beginning in that relationship itself, but also your love partner, your significant other is going to experience a new beginning in their life, particularly financially, and they may also come into a new career or earnings path, but it's going to bless your significant other in a happy marriage, but it also can renew the love and the affection in an existing marriage and the harmony and balance between you. If you are alone, and you're looking for a love, then this is beautiful because this is a new beginning and it will bring a new love story. And with good old love, sex, and fertility goddess Astarte there, it seems quite luscious. In fact, the sun with this moon, right? New moon rules your house of sexual and romantic love. You've got a love behind you. I don't care if it was from, 16 years old. You've got a love behind you. You are grieving or have grieved or have buried in the past through like a burial grieving ceremony. And that's because Venus and grieve are behind the new moon. So you've already let something go for single Aries. And I think you put it to bed, so to speak. Like that's what we would say in astrology. In journalism, we put the article to bed, magazine to bed. It's ready to be published. You kind of put something behind you to rest, right? The grieving process is behind. And now there's something new that wants to emerge. If you are in a love relationship, then it's just renewal. If you're not, then it's new love and romance and sex. Okay. Count your blessings. You've got 6 months for this to be true. Get back to me in the comments. You might see some evidence for it in the 2 to 3 or 4 weeks after the moon that this is possibly something you can have. New love coming your way. Now, Jupiter is blessing this from the 4th house of your private life, your home, and your homeland. Jupiter does rule the house of foreign lands and travel as well. There is a possibility, not a probability, that you might end up falling into a love relationship with someone who is born in a country other than your own, for example, or meeting somebody because you're traveling from your home to a foreign land. Jupiter in the 4th house is helping you prosper from your home base. It's things you're doing in your home, around your home, through your home that are increasing your prosperity at this time of your life. But there's also the possibility of an expansion of your home, adding an addition, creating something new, having more than one home, multiplying your homes, getting a second home. And if this is to occur, it may be very connected to a relationship, okay, rather than just by yourself, just a possibility. And maybe you and your long-term committed love partner are going to be so fruitful together that you're able to expand your home, to get another home. Now, fertility, that's all over this story. And if you are a young Aries and you want to make babies, this is what this is about. And Jupiter means family and children in the home. Venus is with the fertility goddess, Astarte, and a new moon. And so there is a possibility of pregnancy here for you or your significant other in the 6 months that follows this moon for those Aries who are thinking of baby making. All right, let me go ahead and stop the share. Let's pull a card for you from the wisdom of the oracle. Let's do this now. I'm going to be putting out a series of teaching videos. I think I'm going to put them up like Teaching Tuesdays. I'm just going to go flying up there. They're going to suck in the algorithm, but I'm going to start to put a library of easy teachings out for you guys, half-hour videos maximum. Round and round, round and round, round and round we go, 25, round and round. Now, a lot of this activity is about romantic love. So we're going to go to that first, okay? Because I think that's what we're pointing at for you, or committed love, or partnering with love, and things like that. Number 25. Keywords, round and round, round and round, round and round. The spiral quality of events when a lesson isn't quite integrated. Cycles that you are challenged to break, and revisiting a pattern from a new perspective. Well, astrology is all about patterns. And your relationship message for you is, are you wondering, how did I get here again? Does something feel familiar right now in your dynamics with others? Maybe a little too familiar. So don't be surprised that you found yourself repeating an old story with some sort of person who may not look similar, but who you attracted because of your easy acquaintance with his or her qualities. Okay, I'll use me as an example. I just finished a 2-year relationship. It was amazing. It did bring up old patterns, but we're really good friends now. So I don't know how all of you are doing. The patterns could be actually playing out in your existing relationship and you're just noticing them. Okay, so it talks about circling back to an accustomed spot and a familiar place. But that's fine as you get to do things again, but different this time. So that's important, right? Like, especially when it comes to business partners, love, and how you deal with your clients and audience and marketplace. But this is mostly a love thing for you guys. Even if you're in a relationship, how does it feel familiar? How have you been in the same dynamic before? So how will you choose to behave now that you are aware? Remain curious and stay open and stay out of the blame game. Yes, 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 yes. So I don't care if you're with someone or not with someone. This is an important story to really integrate that. Looking for the patterns and looking for what may be repeating and how you can be aware and do it differently again next time or this time in your existing relationship. No, I'm not sharing my junkie screen again. Wow, guys. This is beyond irritating. I wonder if the universe is trying to tell me it's time to stop doing YouTube. Okay, I think it's there. I think I'm sharing. I hope I am. Otherwise, you're not going to see anything. All right. Moving into Taurus, sun, moon, and rising sign. Venus is the lord of your sign, as she is for the Libras. Venus is opening up a beautiful opportunity for work, service, job, okay, career. This is important. It's an Artha house, more prosperity, more financial gain in work and career. It's opening up the opportunity to grieve something from the past to do with perhaps the loss of an animal, a pet, a karmic relationship, maybe grieving the end of an old path in your work or whatever, your career path. It's not working for you. And even making a kind of energetic shift toward more passion and more joy in your work, actually liking what you're up to, not just doing it for the money. Venus is going to ask for pleasure or enjoyment of the actual work that you might want to do, your job, so to speak. Sexuality, love, war, and fertility goddess Astarte is with this new beginning, new moon on the 21st of October at 6 months for results. So possibly also you could get involved in a romantic love story connected to your work. If you're single, then you might find yourself in a love story in work-related matters. That's how you meet or how you engage with someone. Or you could just be falling in love with your work. One thing I'd say about this story is that if you are somebody who is possibly busting out of a straitjacket regarding sabotaging habits and behaviors, including addictions with Chiron here, that looks like a breaking free of that with Jupiter's support. You have the wisdom and knowledge, the truth and clarity, maybe through a guide, a coach, a mentor, a teacher, to get outside the boundaries of a bad habit or addiction and do well and prosper because of it. It's also possible that you could be moving your your home to a new neighborhood in the 6 months that follows, new rental opportunity that's blessed in a beautiful place that's very expansive and joyous for you. And Jupiter is in the house of neighbors and neighborhoods, which is why we're bringing that up. This also speaks to me really strongly with Jupiter in the third house of business enterprise opportunities, getting a position in a company, especially local, but it's some kind of job up level for you as well. And greater gains financially from your career, a salary raise, a promotion, a new level of financial attainment that's possible in the work sphere for you. One of the things I would say about this guy as well before we draw a card is that if you've had any challenges to your health behind you, this is a real shift around that. Jupiter is giving you a blessing to turn health challenges around. And it looks like Jupiter could be a person in the third house, like a local healer or a local coach or guide or wisdom holder or something like that could open up a way for you. Chiron is the healer. And it could also be connected to doing deep soul work, things to do with past lives and breaking those chains or trauma from your childhood, especially with the sun ruling in the fourth house. I do see rental movement to a new neighborhood for some of you who are looking to change your home in the next 6 months ahead. And you're going to find an amazing opportunity. It'd be like a really good deal or a beautiful property, etc. And I think that would bring you a great deal of joy and enjoyment, as well as maybe even a home office space and that kind of thing. Lots of good energy happening for you here. Don't forget, Pluto's traveling your 10th house till 2044. You're going to really power up in the career and work sphere, maybe even acquire great wealth as you rejuvenate, rebirth, and renew yourself through work, through career, and through material success. So you're just getting started on this longer story. Let's go ahead and let's grab a card for you from the good old Wisdom of the Oracle by Colette Baron Reid to accompany the astrology. We have a bug in my house. That bug is going to drive me nuts. It's been flying around all the time. I've been working with you guys. And it's one of those buzzy ones, the house fly. Bzz, 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 it's driving me nuts. All right, we got the card Yang, 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 Yang. Now that's number one, like the magician in the tarot, right? Yang is a masculine force of initiative. It's the penetrating force, and yin is the receiving force, receptive. It's Shiva as opposed to Shakti. So the masculine principle of movement and creative activity, the power to make things happen and taking action. Well, I think you're going to take action one way or the other because Venus is offering up a goodie bag of something positive for you. Because Venus is in an Artha house with this new moon, it's a material prosperity. We're going to the prosperity section. The general meaning of the card was about the Yang principle, making things happen, taking action. But the prosperity message in particular is this. Isn't that beautiful, that card? It's projects, partnerships, relating to business are out of the obstacle phase. It's time to make it happen. Now is the time to stake your claim, get things done. Well, you can expect to be busier than usual. The card tells you in the next 6 months that you have all the energy, vitality you need to accomplish your goals. Abundance is waiting for you to claim it. I don't think that needs any more explanation. I think that's self-evident, and it sounds to me like it's incroyable. Let me practice my French. I'm going to go off to France this year and take a gander. I'm missing adventures, and I love France. I haven't been there since 2010, maybe. Okay. Make this bigger so you're not looking at my messy screen. We're moving out of the Taurus story into Gemini. I'm a progressed Gemini sun. I can relate, but don't highlight your progressed planets over. Okay, don't do that over your natal sky, but they're important too. Onion skin layers of astrology, right? Gemini sun, moon, and rising sign. First of all, we must address the elephant in the room, the Chironic wound, I think up here. It's like, this is abundance from the profitability and the gains, second from the 10th. Your career gains have been wounding you since 2019. Now, it may not be terrible. It could be you couldn't get a lot of you're making money, but you don't feel you're on purpose, or you're missing the dharma. You're not aligned with the real gifts that you're here to give the world, but you might be making money and you're still wounded, right? So I kind of relate to that. If I put on my tombstone, she was a great astrological weather girl, I'm going to be disappointed with my life, right? So there's something deeper that I want to do in this life, for example. And so there's an energy about that. Now, the wound can also be friends, friendship wounds, groups of belonging wounds, and not fitting in with the crew that you hang out with. Your main social groups and networks aren't really your cup of tea. And that wound has been there since 2019. Now, I think with Abundante, you're going to increase the profitability from your career. End of story, significant North Node transit up in your 10th house, right? I'm not putting everything in. I told you guys why. So there's a new kind of healing of the way you create abundance in your career connected to this story. You might attract new professional social groups and circles as well over the 6 months that follow this moon, because the moon is happening in your 5th house of entrepreneurship, the muse, creativity, inspiration, and romantic love, and the house of your children. This bodes very well for your children doing, significantly better in their life over the next 6 months. And it particularly will benefit your firstborn, but both of your children. And it also could suggest that a firstborn child may encounter fertility and pregnancy and conception of a child in the 6 months that follow. I hope so, because my firstborn child is thinking of having a baby with his wife, and I love them both. Now, in the sky, you're going to notice that the new moon, the new beginning in your 5th house, is accompanied by some grieving behind you, a loss, something to do with grieving and Venus love. You could have a grief around a lost pregnancy. You could have some grief around a love relationship that ended. You could have some loss or grieving for or about something going on with your children, or one of your children's going through a time of loss and grieving. But whatever that is, it's behind the moon, and the moon is moving forward. So, I talk about me because I like to use me as examples. My progressed Gemini son got out of a 2-year long-term love relationship. Am I grieving it? Well, not really, because I'm more enlightened than that. I'm grateful for it, but it's like sort of letting it go and, bearing it and putting it to rest. And so there's an example. Energetically, with sex, fertility, and love, this is so great if you want to make a baby. This is so great if you want to have a new romantic and sexual life emerge for you in the 6 months that follows this moon. Jupiter is in the 2nd house, blessing this lunation. And yes, the T-square is pivotal. It makes action and determined decisions happen, but it's not hard because Jupiter's blessed here. So Jupiter says, let us also increase our prosperity and earnings and pocketbook and wallet and resources and possessions. Let's abundance it up through creativity, artistic expression, and entrepreneurial endeavors. If you get involved in a new relationship, it will be with someone generous, prosperous, and likely wealthy. If you're already in a relationship, Jupiter rules your 7th house of committed love, and there may be the opportunity for that relationship you're already in to have a sexual renewal or a financial uplift in the dynamic of your relationship together. Because Jupiter rules your 10th house of a career where things are expanding and growing. As he applies to your 5th house, he might be increasing your enjoyment and creative and artistic energy in your career. That also means you're lifting up and up and up, to new levels of success financially and in prosperity in the 6 months that follows this lunation. Jupiter rules your marriage house. And if you are single and looking to date and a romance is coming your way, it will become a committed relationship in the next 6 months quickly. It will not stagnate in dating. It will quickly become committed, especially with Jupiter moving into your 3rd house next July. You could pretty well anticipate that this October new moon would probably lead to like a cohabi or really super committed relationship within 6 months minimum. So that's what I've got for you, 6 months to a year minimum. All right, so we're going to go ahead. We're going to draw a card from you about this story, and it has to do with Colette Baron reads Wisdom of the Oracle for Gemini, Sun, Moon, and Rising. We started at Libra, just reminding you guys. So we're going to be finishing up soon. Oh, something just whizzed by me. It's a bug. The bug won't leave me alone today, guys. It's really driving me absolutely bonkers. So if anybody has a spell, a bug spell, let me know. It's called Go the Distance. Let me get rid of that hand. Okay, go the distance, go the distance. That is a cheetah running really quickly. Number 47. So don't forget the new moon's in your creativity, your artistic, your entrepreneurial, and your romantic life stories. 47. Go the distance. Sorry, guys. It's like 47 is the hardest card to find, I swear. 43. 45. Coming up. Here we go. Endurance, strength, and the long haul. Endurance, strength, and the long haul. There is a romantic energy here in the 5th house. So we're going to do the relationship message, okay? But it's about fortitude, alignment, miracles, pushing forward, right? So the relation in any area of your life. If it's in a relationship context, you are either in or calling in. You are either already in or are calling in, okay, either one, a harmonious relationship that can stand the test of time. For better or worse, as you ride the ups and downs and even strain, break yourself. As you ride the ups and downs, even strain, break yourself, and are remade in new growth, you are being redeemed by the power of regeneration. Harmony does not mean that there will never be a wrong note played out in the relationship, that in a relationship that is marked by endurance and dedication to the overall unity. A new song can be written, an instrument can be tuned, and the symphony of love will play on. Listen with your heart. Isn't it magnificent? So it's really about the beauty of harmony and endurance in an existing relationship, or you're calling in a relationship that will endure. Let me know in the comments if that resonates. All righty. I'd love to hear back. I'm not exactly one of you, but I feel connected because of my progressed sun. And after what? Yeah, Cancer. So we have Cancer, Leo, and Virgo, and we're rounding this story up. All right, Cancer, sun, moon, and rising. Jupiter is in your sign. You are blessed. You are lucky. You are fortunate. You are guided. You are protected. You're magnanimous and generous. And he's looking at a new beginning in the 4th house, home, land, property, and real estate. There's a few thoughts here. You could literally change your home, a beautiful new home, a prosperous new home, a loving new home, new beginnings in the home, maybe new beginnings in the home connected to a female in your life, for example, or maybe a female. And, at the same time, you've got this great, sexuality, romance, and fertility, Astarte sitting right here with this new beginning moon that happens on the 21st. Please listen to the intro for details. So there's an energetic reset button here. Now you have one here every year. So obviously you don't move every single year. That would be redonkulous. So you could move, but you could also beautify your home, add new decorations to your home, find love in the home, find romantic love close to home if you're looking for a love story, or in the homeland if you've moved abroad. You could literally look at this as well as some fertility stories going on. And sometimes it means that maybe one of your children will be bringing in fertility, having children, bringing babies in. And you could think of it that way. That would work as well. One thing about this guy is that there is chironic wounding since 2019 in your career and reputation space. Maybe you had a catastrophic end of a relationship and you felt wounded in your reputation, right? Widowed, divorced, or difficulties there. Or maybe you had some wounding in being in alignment with a truer calling and purpose. Are you my purpose? Are you my career purpose? Are you my right direction? You've gotten a sense of you want to have a meaningful, purposeful path of work and career or expression of success that actually allows you to use your talents and gifts in the world. That's what I'm seeing here. And so it's not so much that it's been such a suck-ass career, but you might feel it's not really your career. It's not really on purpose the way you would really like it to be. Now, one thing about this story is also the possibility, because you are so darn lucky right now, right? You're beyond lucky. I just plugged in my computer. It says it's not plugged in. Please tell me it's plugged in. Nope. Hang on. Something's going on with because I'm going to lose power and there's no way I'm starting over. Okay, this should be plugged in. This should be plugged in. This should be plugged in. I think I ended up with a lemon, guys. I really do. Oh, hang on. It's unplugged. Oh, don't ask. All right. Coming back up from the bottom of my desk. Let's continue. We are charging. Yes. Okay. So bottom line, is you are so darn lucky, you are so expansive, and Procyon is here, which is enduring, executive capacity, ability to, get what you want with courage and daring and all that stuff, discipline and hard work. That's wonderful. If anybody in the sky is listening to me who's thinking of, pondering a home-based business, I would say yes. Venus is prosperity in and from the home, and the earnings of the pocketbook and the Artha house is here. If you've been under the employment umbrella and it sucks, it's time for a new start. And I think this is really good for doing your own thing, starting your own business, finding a new path in life, away from being under the umbrella of employment. But because Jupiter also does rule your house of job, and that often involves employment, there are some blessings here connected to work, career, and employment in the next 6 months after this moon. That is there. You might find a beautiful new home because you're going to go working somewhere different or with a different company, or you might find that you're allowed to work in a new situation with a new kind of company or job that it lets you do a lot of the work in and from your home. A beautiful crow flew in front of my window, a huge, big one. So there's a message for you if you're into crow medicine. Stop the share. What is the card for you? I hope I didn't rush you, but it's getting late in my day. These are taking longer than I wanted to. I don't know. Maybe it's something to do with my all this attention to the tech issues that are driving me insane. So you're not the first person to get round and round. What goes around comes around, cycles repeat. Pay attention to what you've seen before, probably in this case to do with your home, your property, your work, your career, and your luck. Let's go to 25. 12 years ago, you were this lucky. 2013, 14, Jupiter was moving through Cancer. 25. And your card is, I can't get it to open. The spiral quality of events, when a lesson isn't quite integrated, cycles you're a challenge to break, and revisiting your patterns from a new perspective. It's a reminder in this card that although it may appear you're going backwards, the truth is you're standing on a higher level, looking down into your circumstances. You will learn something in the 6 months that follows this moon to do it better, to break a cycle that you have set up in the past. You actually have a bird's eye view. No, you have a Jupiter's eye view, wisdom, knowledge, and truth of your initial footprints, and you can access the wisdom and the lessons learned. Not all of you, but some of you are going to be changing your home in the next, 6 months. Some of you will find a more beautiful home, a bigger home, or more prosperous home, and a home in which love is existing, and maybe new love coming close to home. Let's go ahead. Let's draw a card for the next sign. Let's pull up the chart for the next sign and the next sign. Bless the next sign soul. Can we move that into the actual middle of the screen and make it big? You are Leo, sun, moon, and rising. Leos, you guys have a very powerful new fresh start beginning, blessed by Venus in the third house. And this is about your neighborhood, your neighbors, your cousins, aunts, and uncles, and siblings. But also it's to do with like the travel and the local neighborhood. And, it's a lot of, the third house drives me nuts. It's got too many meanings. Sometimes it's social media landscape, online dating. Anyway, or dating somebody from your childhood, someone you went to high school with, or somebody you knew from kindergarten. Anyway, romantic love there. Some grieving, some loss, something is behind you. You're looking behind you at it. And there might be a romantic love story behind you already. Like, it's coming to a close. You've already pre-grieved, or you're thinking about the past and you're grieving some old love stories connected to the third house. Sometimes when love stories are connected to the third house, your love partner feels like a sibling, and that doesn't really work, right? Because, siblings, incest is not best. So sibling love. So that can also mean that there's something going on where you can look back and go, oh my God, my last romantic partner felt like a sister or a brother. Now, sexuality, romance, and fertility here, right? With Astarte, new beginnings and fresh starts. If you're looking for a relationship, you might find somebody in the local environment, the neighborhood, online dating, or through short distance travel. And you could bounce into a new love story in the 6 months that follows this new moon. The new moon is being blessed by Jupiter in far off distant shores and lands. Doubling down on travel may bring a new long-term love story to you. Also help you to get outside the bounds of constrictions and restrictions where you've been your own worst enemy. You've undone yourself, breaking through karmic patterns and ancestral patterns that hold love back from you. And Chiron, who's been bothering you in the 9th house since 2019, giving you a Chironic wound in your spirituality, in churches, in religions, in foreign lands and foreign travel, even a wounded foreign lover or romantic partner, from another country that you might have gone through already. This must be behind you by now. You've put it to bed, but now you want something new and fresh and fruitful and abundant to happen here. This can bring a really important outcome when it comes to things to do with legal matters that provide fruitfulness and court cases that provide abundant financial outcomes for you. And you may also be changing your neighborhood. Like, I don't mean, you could stay in the same city, right? But move to another part of the town or the city that you're living in under this kind of sky. But with the distant lands and far off Jupiter, some of you might also relocate your home to a neighborhood in another country. And that's something that might occur in the 6 months after this new beginning, new moon. If you're in the social media landscape, book publishing, writing, all of that, you could have some profound turnarounds. Get a book deal, get published, move towards a more exciting social media and entrepreneurial energy. Jupiter rules your entrepreneurial 5th house. And I feel like with the sun, of course, involved with the moon, right? It's the ruler of you. Every time the sun's involved, we pay attention to your Leonine nature. And so the sun, your ruler, wants a fresh start in the 3rd house too, not just the moon. And I'm asking if you guys are thinking as a Leo of changing your home, getting outside of your home, moving out of your home. And if that's the case, I think that's going to go well. I think that's a good idea. I think you should and may do that, especially with Saturn next spring moving into your 9th house. Again, it doubles down on the possibility of a new home in a new area, maybe farther away than you normally would think you'd want to be, but there's a possibility there too. And lastly, a sibling too, especially one younger than you, is your 3rd house. And there may be some fresh starts and new beginnings regarding that sibling. Also friends from high school, friends from college, friends from elementary school, dovetailing with the possibility of changing your home, maybe rooming with a friend from your earlier years or somebody from your childhood or kindergarten, elementary, and high school years, and moving into a home with them. That's a possibility as well. Finally, Jupiter rules your house of shared resources with a spouse, right? As well as inheritances. So there may be some money coming to you from a spousal relationship, particularly if that relationship is coming to a close, because that could be a story here as well. All right, Leo, we're going to draw a card for you. We're going to stop the share and draw a card from Wisdom of the Oracle, Colette Baron Reed. Let's get a complimentary card that helps you understand the here and now. Number 32, the here and now. Jupiter is in the Moksha spiritual liberation house, the full Monty, going all the way to, shunyata, emptiness, nirvana, I don't know what, take your pick, awakening. So there's nothing more important to spiritual enlightenment than the here and now. Be here now, power of now. 32. I always think of I think of the word surrender when I think of the 12th house. What do you need to surrender in your life or surrender to that you already know is inevitable? Being fully in the present moment and living one day at a time. There's an egg. Everything happens in the now, in the present. Only this moment counts, Leo. You have what it takes to handle anything today. If you let go of the need to look into the future or reflect on the past, be present and notice what is going on right now. This very moment has the potential for you to create miracles in your life. I'm going to leave you with that. And finally, I never say last but not least ever for the Virgos, do I? No, because you guys are never last, except this time you are. Virgo sun, Virgo moon, and Virgo rising sign. It's a story for you of a money. All right. New beginnings in your money. It could be a dietary habit and style, especially getting rid of addictions. It could also be a new beginning in your facial appearance, facial rejuvenation, all of that stuff, cosmetic procedures. But more importantly, it's really a new beginning in your finances. And new beginnings, new moons also come about here when you're going to increase your prosperity. If Venus is with the moon, and she is, and you add Jupiter in the house of career profitability and gains, the gains of your 10th, it looks like you're going to increase prosperity through shifts in your career. But also, Jupiter's in a windfalls and pennies from heaven's house. And so you might get an inheritance as well, because Chiron is in the house of inheritance. So between inheritance and salary increase and prosperity and career, there's all of these things happening at once. Now, you could also get spousal support money, and that could increase your prosperity as well. With the energy of grieve behind you, have you been grieving something, letting it go, putting it to bed, to do with a dietary habit, a style, a favorite addiction? And we can miss the things that bring us pleasure orally, right? And so you might be grieving the ending of the vape, the cigarette, the wine, the weed, whatever you do. And yet at the same time, you're ready for something new and a fresh beginning. Fertility, sex, and love. This is here. This is the asteroid Astarte in the second house. I'd say looking at it auspiciously, the best way I could perceive that would be fresh new beginnings in your financial wellness that are feeling like you're abundantly fertile, like you're conceiving a new level of success. The sun is a ruler of that addictions house. So it's also like a really beautiful energy for a kind of almost magical spell of a way to release yourself from suffering from some addiction or substance dependency, etc. A sibling, one older than you, can be a great help to you if you have one. And you might also benefit from luscious support from friends, allies, and benefactors around this time of the new moon on the 21st. Add 6 months. Now, back to the 8th house for a minute, where Chiron's been bothering you since 2019, and possibly you've been having some Chironic wounds around inheritances, shared monies with spouse, also with issues to do with shame, betrayal, and abandonment, and feeling like those darker, difficult areas of your life have been really asking for you to investigate them. And Chiron here can also bring abundance with abundantia, as you may be looking at some family money coming to you. I mean, passing down legacy wealth from a family member up your family line. It could be a grandparent, could be a parent. I don't know. It doesn't mean you have to die. Maybe they're going to give you money, but there's legacy wealth involved with Jupiter, ruler of your 4th, and he's talking to the 8th. So possibly you're going to come into some wealth on this from the family, but it's also really great for job monies, work monies, that kind of thing. Literally looking like you could be increasing your success in your work because of this kind of sky, coming to a new level of salary or promotion or raise. And finally, I'd say with Venus here, watching what happens, no matter what, it should look like a pocketbook wallet increase over the course of 6 months. Somehow you possess more abundance, right? Somehow you are able to be more abundant. It could be in concert with your significant long-term love partner if you have one, because Jupiter rules that as he activates this moon. And so your partner's more wealthy, you're wealthy because your partner's wealthy, and together you're more prosperous. All right, so let's go ahead and draw a card for you. And this is from Colette Barron Reed's Wisdom of the Oracle. And her message to you regarding this new moon is tick tock, tick tock, tick 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 tock. It's time for something. Number 30. Card number 30. What is it time for? What is it time? The chronicator Saturn right now, well, I call him the chronic, the Lord of time and karma, is currently in your 7th house of long-term committed love. 30, but he's finishing up there. Number 30. Okay, here's your message. I'm coming. 30. Timelessness. Divine timing. Immeasurable time. When humans created time, everything changed. Oh, I'm going to the prosperity because Venus is in your prosperity 2nd house. Your with the new moon. Your prosperity is co-created by your endeavors as they occur in human-made time and the eternal efforts of your most important manifestations, your partner in spirit, the divine, measureless time. So keep doing what you are doing. Stay positive. Make a commitment to remain in high vibration through high vibration thoughts and feelings. I'm effortlessly, generously, massively wealthy. Try that one out. If you heed the message of this card, it will seem as if you will align with your highest calling and your highest good in no time at all, like magic. So what's all the fuss about? Not having enough time? The prosperous life that is yours will never pass you by. All in good time. Thanks for listening. Don't forget to like and subscribe. My quick outro today is about synchronicity. I cannot tell you how crazy it's been. Let me know if you're experiencing accelerated synchronicity. I've been really listening to a lot of Eckhart Tolle lately. But before I do that, I'll give you 3 stories. I'm walking through the supermarket listening to a podcast, and the guy says Big Bang, like the Big Bang Theory. And just as I'm walking down the aisle and I'm looking at the kombucha section and other drinks, there's a product that has the word bang on it, bang. So I see it and I'm looking at it and I hear Big Bang. Okay, that's an example. I'm walking into my bedroom listening to Eckhart Tolle, and I go to water my plant, and he says the very word plant in it, like a 90-minute talk as I'm just as I start to water my plant. I'm walking into my living room, and it's a dark and cloudy and rainy day. And he says, enlightenment is like always there. It's just covered by the clouds of your mind and your identification with, thought forms and self. And yet he says the clouds just hide the sun, and on the awakening journey, one day the sun will emerge. And as he's saying that, I'm walking towards the window in the living room to water another plant, by the way, or be with another plant. The sun breaks out of the clouds on a dark and dreary day, shines a light on me, and then the clouds cover it, and there's no more sun for the rest of the day. I had another Eckhart Tolle synchronicity today. What was it? I told I told somebody about it. Another one of those things of the perfect timing overlay. Now I can't remember it. As I said, you can't make this stuff up, and I need to write it down. So that's what I've got for you. Pay attention to those. These are my most famous and favorite synchronicities. I'm listening to something usually like a podcast, and I'm doing my day, like watering the plants or taking a walk outside. And just as the podcast host or YouTube video person is talking about, because I'm listening, a word, then that word is emerging. I could be writing the word like entanglement, and then a podcast guy saying entanglement as I'm typing it. So look for those ones. Those are my latest ones. Does anyone else have them? If you do, share some of your stories. I know I had another Eckhart Tolle synchronicity, and I was like blown away today as I was listening to him, and his words interface with my reality. You can't make that stuff up. So tell me about some of your synchronicities. Does anyone else have that kind of synchronicity I'm talking about? The dovetail of your real life with like something you're listening to and the word and your real life interfacing? That's bizarre. That's a glitch in the matrix. Okay, take care. See you in the next video. Ciao, ciao. Like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Everything about me in my description box below.